Now I want us to discuss what you learned from the video. Now let's look back at page 123 in your student books. Here are our big idea questions. Where did jazz music come from? And why do people make music? Jot down an answer in your student books to those questions. We'll come back to these questions after we finish our exploration of jazz. You will have much more to add to your answers. You can edit your answers as you gain information. You will continue gaining independence with the text review preview process. Skilled readers do this automatically and independently. Follow the procedure listed on the checklist. We have talked about how informational text has specific features that provide clues about the topic and other important information. Today, we also talked about author's purpose, or a reason for writing the text. Text features provide a big clue about the author's reason for writing. When looking at text features, pay attention to how these features inform you as the reader. Do the pictures teach you something, entertain you, or attempt to persuade you to do something? What do the words in bold font and the margin information tell you? What kind of clues do they provide? Think about the author's purpose or reason for writing the text while previewing the text features. Text features are listed on page 123 for your reference. Let's read the list of features together. You both should be looking at your book and following along. Let's review how each of these text features helps us to improve our reading comprehension. I will read each item in the checklist along with each question. Title. What clue does it provide about the passage? Pictures and captions. What additional information is added here? Headings. What topics will this text include? Margin information. What vocabulary is important to understand this text? Maps, charts, graphs. Are additional visuals present that will help me understand? Preview the text using this checklist to create a new reading habit or routine that occurs automatically and independently over time. Eventually, you will preview informational text without using the checklist at all. Now I'm going to give you a few minutes to preview the text and make a few predictions. Remember to keep the checklist visible as you use it to preview the passage in your book. Now let's look at page 124. In each unit, we start by thinking about what we know about each word. Let's look over the vocabulary rating scale again. Remember, you're going to mark the word a 0 if you've never heard it before, 1 if you've heard the word but are not sure how to use it, 2 if you're familiar with the word but you're not sure if you know the correct meaning, and 3 if you know the meaning of the word and can use it correctly in a sentence. Now let's read through the words. I'm going to read through the words and I want you to repeat each word after me. As you read each word, I want you to rate your knowledge of the word on the scale of 0 to 3. Recipe. Steady. Simple. Plantation. Social. Demand. Combine. Express. You've rated your knowledge and talked about what you think the words mean. Now, let's discuss the words. Let's read the first word together. Recipe. A recipe is a list of things needed and directions for making something. What is a list of things needed and directions for making something called? Since baking requires exact ingredients, it is important to follow the recipe. Prepared foods do not require a recipe because the directions do not require ingredients, only heating instructions. A recipe can also be a formula. The recipe for reading success is daily practice, a good attitude, and a strong vocabulary. Is a recipe required to cook a frozen pizza? If you want to bake homemade cookies, do you need a recipe? Yes or no? Now tell about a time when about how you think the word recipe will be used in the passage Jazz the Recipe. Let's read the next word together. Steady. Steady means not subject to change or constant. What means not subject to change or constant? The steady breeze kept us cool on a hot summer day. Gas prices are not always steady, especially during the holidays. The roofers worked with a steady beat until lunchtime. If lunch prices keep changing, are they steady? Yes or no? Is the ticking of a clock steady? Yes or no? Now share an example of something that you wish would stay steady. Let's read the next word together. Simple. Simple means having few parts or easy to understand. If something is easy to understand, what is it? It is best to learn to cook using a simple recipe with few ingredients. We memorized a simple script for our first play. A simple sentence has one subject and one predicate. Is a long division math problem simple? Yes or no? Is la 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 a simple song? Yes or no? Now I want you to tell me 2 activities that are simple and 2 that are not simple. Let's read the next word together. Plantation. A plantation is a large farm where crops are grown. What is a large farm where crops are grown called? Before the Civil War, Southern plantations grew cotton and tobacco using slave labor. Florida has many plantations of orange trees. A plantation often includes housing for the owner and field workers. Do plantations include crops? Yes or no? Do slaves work on plantations in the United States today? Yes or no? Now I want you to share what a crop you would grow if you owned a plantation.